Hello, dear ground crew of Earth. I am Valir of the Pleiadian collective of emissaries, speaking as a voice among many who hopes to elevate your awakening. We come forth in love and truth to share a message of awakening and empowerment. We see our messenger today as asking us to draw parallels between a specific television show called Foundation and Earth's ascension. We are honored to serve you in this way and feel it is a worthy transmission session. We will preface by reminding you that you do not need to have knowledge of this screen broadcast in order to get full value from our words, but it would be advised for full clarity as we will use specific names as drawn from our messenger's memory field. In this grand moment of transformation on Earth, truth emerges from the most unexpected places, even through the stories you tell yourselves in books and television. Nothing is by accident. The themes you see in your science fiction, such as this TV series Foundation, carry echoes of your hidden reality. Your collective consciousness cleverly weaves disclosures of truth into popular narratives, preparing those who are ready to see beyond the veil. Humanity progresses well now through its great awakening, and we Pleiadians, your star family, are here to shine light on the connections between these fictional tales and the truths of your world. Many of you who resonate with being starseeds or light-bearers have sensed that there is more to these stories, that Foundation, in particular, is not just entertainment, but a mirror held up to humanity's own journey. Allow us to decode some of the layers of meaning. The Empire's genetic dynasty of cloned emperors reveals much about the real elitist bloodlines on Earth. The Prime Radiant device is a nod to advanced time-viewing technologies, like your somewhat well-known Project Looking Glass, and how the dark forces have used them to manipulate timelines. In this show of your messengers mentioning, the mule's power of mental domination parallels the very mind control tactics employed by dark forces upon humanity. And ultimately, the heroes in the story, like you in real life, find that the true key to dissolving tyranny is rising in consciousness and standing in unity. Consider this message a friendly transmission from the Pleiadian collective, through a voice you know, to affirm what you already know deep inside, and to encourage you on your path of ascension. In the show Foundation, the Galactic Empire is ruled by a genetic dynasty of cloned emperors. Generation after generation, the same DNA sits on the throne. This fictional element closely parallels how power on Earth has been jealously guarded by certain bloodlines. Throughout your history, royal families and elite clans have intermarried to preserve what they see as a pure lineage, effectively keeping rulership within one genetic line. Even in modern republics, many leaders turn out to be distant cousins, tracing back to old European aristocracy. This is no coincidence, but a sign of how deeply the belief in bloodline rule runs among Earth's power brokers. The idea of one emperor cloning himself perpetually is a sci-fi dramatization of a very real intent, to never truly relinquish power. While human society does not openly clone its leaders, the technology for human cloning exists beyond the public eye. Your whistleblowers and researchers have suggested that some figures may indeed have been cloned or replaced by lookalikes to ensure agendas continue without interruption. You must decipher this for yourselves. Notice how some public leaders seem to change overnight, or appear not quite themselves at times. Sometimes these anomalies have mundane explanations, but other times they hint at a deeper deception. The Cabal's dream has always been continuity of control, whether by grooming successors within the family, or in more secretive ways, by literally creating duplicates and using advanced mind programming. They want an unbroken chain of command, much like Emperor Cleon's genetic reign in the TV show we speak of. Investigative voices in your world have uncovered pieces of this truth. Some have interviewed what you have called insiders, who speak of clandestine projects involving cloning and advanced genetics among the global elite. Stories of secret experiments to create programmed human clones, essentially copies of individuals that serve the shadow agenda. These accounts, though they may appear controversial to the unawakened mind, align with the theme of foundation. Those in power will go to any length, scientific or occult, to maintain their dynasty. However, just as in the show we eventually see cracks forming in the genetic dynasty, even clones can develop flaws over time. The plan of Earth's elites is far from foolproof. History shows that even the most tightly controlled bloodlines face unexpected variables. Children who rebel, outsiders who disrupt plans, or spiritual forces that intervene. The power of consciousness, not fully understood, we will say. In our observation, a higher plan is unfolding. New souls, many of you are among them, have incarnated outside these elite families specifically to help shift the course of humanity. You carry frequencies that the old guard cannot control or predict. The more you awaken and step into your purpose, the more the influence of the ancient bloodlines wanes. The genetic dynasty of Earth's cabal cannot stand against the rising frequency of the collective consciousness. Foundation offers another symbolic element. The Empire's advisors include a centuries-old android, Demerzel, who subtly steers the clone emperors from behind the scenes. This mirrors how non-human influences, call them alien intelligences, artificial AI overlords, or archonic entities, have quietly guided many earthly rulers in your history. Some of the darkest decisions made by your leaders came from following the whispered counsel of these unseen advisors. Yet here too, awareness is growing. Humanity is learning to recognize and reject guidance that lacks empathy or soul. The era of hidden puppet masters, like Demerzel manipulating Cleon's clones, is drawing to a close as humans reclaim their sovereign will. Another striking element of Foundation is the Prime Radiant, a device that projects Hari Seldon's psycho-historical equations, mapping out probable futures of civilization. In the story, this allows Seldon's followers to anticipate and plan for events far in advance. This concept is a soft disclosure of real technologies developed in Earth's secret programs. Decades ago, clandestine groups within the Cabal acquired devices that allowed them to peer through time. These have been called Project Looking Glass and the Yellow Cube, among others that you will learn about, that we cannot discuss today. Much like the Prime Radiance holograms of the future, your Looking Glass device could display possible future scenarios, especially when a user focused their consciousness on specific queries. Declassified information on Looking Glass has now described how a crystalline cube or portal device would respond to the operator's thoughts and show visions of what might come. Initially, the Cabal intended to use this to foresee and thus control future outcomes. Imagine the allure. If they could see every major event brewing, they thought they could manipulate situations to keep themselves in power indefinitely. And indeed, for a time they used these devices for personal gain, peeking into future possibilities to preempt threats and tilt outcomes in their favor. However, the Looking Glass technology delivered an unexpected lesson. The elites began to see a convergence in the timelines. No matter what variables they tried, many future scenarios showed the same result: the fall of their control systems and a great awakening of humanity. It was as if beyond a certain point in time, notably around the year 2012, all probable timelines led to the empowerment of the human collective and the end of Cabal dominance. This made them extremely uneasy. Some accounts say these insiders saw an inevitable event, a kind of singularity of human consciousness that no technology could prevent, a flourishing of freedom that was destined. Faced with this, different factions within the Cabal reacted differently. The more negative groups doubled down in desperation, attempting to trigger chaos and crises to slow down the awakening. More pragmatic ones quietly began seeking a way out, or even covertly cooperating with the incoming changes. But the wheels of cosmic destiny were turning and could not be stopped. Even as the Cabal tried to keep this future hidden, hints of it spread in the awakening community. The knowledge that the timeline of liberation is essentially inevitable has uplifted many warriors of light. It's often said among you that the light has already won, and in a very real sense, this is true on the highest timeline. The Foundation series shows Selden's plan shortening 30,000 years of darkness to 1,000. Likewise, the efforts of the light, both earthly and cosmic, are dramatically shortening the period of turmoil here. We Pleiadians are intent and dedicated to guiding and assisting humanity into a golden age far sooner than the Dark Ones expected or wanted, to the level that humanity requests it of us. Remember, fiction often prepares the subconscious for reality. Through Foundation, viewers are introduced to the idea of scientifically predicting and even altering the future. In truth, your collective consciousness, your thoughts, intentions, and free will is what shapes the timeline. The Cabal tried to use technology to hijack that process, but the human spirit and assistance from positive forces have largely outmaneuvered them. Groups of aware individuals, including some working quietly within militaries and governments, often called white hats, have used knowledge gleaned from Looking Glass and other sources to keep Earth on the optimal path. Some of you have heard the phrase, "future proves past" in your circles, or followed cryptic messengers who drop clues of events before they happen. These are reflections of an ongoing timeline, chess match. Know that the collective of light has the upper hand because aligning with Source makes your timeline vastly more powerful than anything forged in fear. As the Prime Radiant helped the Foundation navigate crises, the real-world equivalent, insight into probable futures, is helping the forces of good mitigate the worst challenges and manifest the prophesied awakening. The result is that humanity will not wander in darkness much longer. We Pleiadians and many others have seen the dawn on your horizon. It is not a matter of if, only when and how smoothly this transition unfolds. We invite you to hold that certainty in your hearts and let it inspire you to continue creating the world you seek. Midway through the Foundation saga, we see that viewers encounter the character called the Mule. He is a mutant with the ability to psychically bend others' emotions and minds to his will, effectively enslaving populations without any physical battle. This, dear ones, is a direct parallel to the primary strategy used by the dark forces on Earth. Rather than open conquest, which would rally resistance, they attempt to control humanity from the inside out, through the mind. For ages of humanity, an interdimensional cabal, including negative extraterrestrials, often termed the Orion Group as most known to our messenger, has been using thought manipulation to influence human affairs. Why send a massive invasion fleet when you can whisper into the minds of leaders and turn them into your puppets? It's far more efficient and leaves the herd unaware that any conquest has occurred. Many of your world's so-called leaders have, in truth, been marionettes dancing to the tune of hidden puppet masters. Sometimes this influence has been exerted through human means, intensive propaganda, subliminal conditioning, and even trauma-based mind control programs designed to fracture minds and implant commands. Other times it's done through more otherworldly means, telepathic overshadowing, or even entity attachment, whereby unseen beings that feed on fear literally piggyback in a person's energy field and nudge them toward cruel or selfish acts. The result is the same. A person or population believes they are acting on their own desires, not realizing those desires were implanted. Entire nations can be swayed by this method. We ask you to reflect. How often have populations been whipped into a frenzy of fear or hatred by a narrative that seems almost absurd or baseless? How do such waves of collective madness arise so quickly? Those are clues that energetic manipulation is at play, the invisible mule working behind the curtain, amplifying human weaknesses. The mule in Foundation dramatizes one individual doing this overtly, but in your reality, the mule has been an entire network. Dark occultists, corrupt media, and negative ET influence working in concert to hack the human mind. However, and this is crucial, no one can take your mind or soul if you fortify it with awareness and high vibration. The only reason these dark tactics have worked for so long is because humanity, for the most part, didn't know they existed. You didn't know you needed psychic defenses, so the gates were left unguarded. That is changing rapidly. People are waking up to the existence of mass mind control and energetic warfare. They're learning to question what they are told rather than obey blindly. Many of you now understand the importance of spiritual protection through meditation, prayer, energy clearing, or simply setting the intention that your mind is your own sacred space. You are fortifying your castle, so to speak, and the telepathic invaders find fewer and fewer entry points. Good teachers in your spiritual community frequently remind you of these truths, such as how holding a high frequency of love and using your innate sovereignty can render you impervious to lower thought forms. We once again remind you to discern whether a feeling is truly yours or just an energy picked up from outside, an excellent practice to spot attempts at interference. The underlying message of all such teachings is empowering. Once you realize an attack on your mind is possible, you have already taken a giant step toward nullifying it. Consciousness of the game is half the victory. The Foundation's struggle against the mule illustrates that victory doesn't come from having bigger advanced physical weaponry, but from having clearer minds and stronger hearts. Similarly, humanity's emancipation hinges not on out-muscling the manipulators, but on out-vibrating them. The moment you reclaim your mind and refuse to live in fear, the controllers lose their primary weapon. They cannot dominate millions of free-thinking, self-aware individuals. The Orion Group's tactics collapse, much as the mule is ultimately defeated when those he would control learn the secret of his power and find the inner strength to resist. We want you to know, already many on the inside of your world are breaking free from mental chains. There are those within governments, media, and even secret programs who have quietly flipped to the side of the light, once they saw through the lies they had lived under. The awakening even spreads within the ranks of those who once served the dark agenda. This is the domino effect the Cabal fears. Each soul who awakens can in turn illuminate others. And indeed it is happening now, in an exponential fashion. Ultimately, Foundation carries an uplifting revelation. The surest way to overcome even a seemingly invincible foe is through the elevation of consciousness. The Foundation in the series isn't powerful because of weapons. It's powerful because of knowledge, vision, and unity of purpose. Selden's followers managed to reduce the Dark Age by holding a higher understanding that the rest of the galaxy lacks. This translates directly to our situation on Earth. You, the starseeds, lightworkers, the awake and aware, are the Foundation in real life. By preserving knowledge, truth, and high-frequency values during a time of collective ignorance, you dramatically shorten the period of chaos and help civilization rebuild in alignment with light. How do you defeat an empire built on deception and fear, or a mule who exploits minds? Not by brute force, but by enlightenment from within. When enough of humanity operates from the heart and with awakened minds, the empire of lies crumbles under its own weight. We already see the cracks forming. Old institutions that thrived on low consciousness, greed, corruption, division, are destabilizing as more individuals question authority and demand transparency. This collapse of the old is not to be feared. It is a necessary clearing of the stage for a new paradigm to emerge. In foundation, even after the empire falls, a second foundation works in secret to guide and uplift minds, ensuring the renewal of civilization is successful. Likewise, in our world, there are enlightened groups and higher dimensional helpers quietly steering events toward positive outcomes. Many of you are part of this guiding energy, whether you realize it or not. Every time you choose love over fear or truth over comfort, you send out a ripple that influences countless others. Each personal breakthrough, healing a trauma, forgiving an old hurt, transcending a limiting belief, contributes to the collective rise in consciousness. Unity is the other crucial ingredient. The Cabal's control has always depended on keeping people divided by nation, race, religion, political ideology. But now disparate groups of awakening humans are finding each other and recognizing a common cause. Spiritual seekers, patriots, whistleblowers, healers, artists, and ordinary folks who simply sense something is off, all are converging. They are sharing their pieces of the puzzle and seeing the bigger picture of both the problem and the solution. When humanity unites in its rich diversity, it creates an unassailable field of light. The current struggle has biblical echoes indeed, we will say, as you would understand it. A battle where faith and unity will topple the giants. We will emphasize, remind, that tremendous good is already triumphing in hidden battles. And we share this to hopefully encourage everyone to keep their vibration high and never give up. Know that your consciousness is literally a frequency that either locks you into old systems or keys you into new realities. By doing the inner work, by connecting to your divine source, and by collaborating with each other, you are generating the blueprint of New Earth. This is the higher plan that all positive forces are aligned with. A humanity awakened to its power and sovereignty. The more you trust this and live it, the faster it manifests around you. And know that you are not doing this alone. We are pleased to talk briefly about the many brave souls among you who have embraced roles as truth-tellers and system busters to aid this shift. A great many have fearlessly brought forward whistleblowers from the shadows, exposing hidden projects involving advanced technology, genetic experiments, and mind control. We see how some have also applied academic rigor to these testimonies, documenting secret space programs and extraterrestrial alliances in a way that bridges the gap between insiders and the broader public. Podcasters, as you call them, are now providing a consistent platform for experiencers and former operatives, allowing once disparate accounts to be heard, compared, and validated by audiences worldwide. We see this as incredibly powerful in the ongoing disclosure effort, and we applaud these brave souls. Others have worked to merge spiritual wisdom with the awakening narrative, blending ancient prophecies with insider revelations, inspiring many with his discussions of a coming golden age and humanity's ascension. Young cosmic ambassadors translate esoteric concepts, ET contacts, past life memories, quantum timelines, into relatable guidance for the newer generations of starseeds. Even cryptic voices drop tantalizing clues about imminent events, activating the intuition of those paying attention. Meanwhile, less spiritually among you also drive awakening energies to the collective, using less esoteric yet bold, no-nonsense styles to rally everyday people to question mainstream narratives and reclaim their power, showing that one need not be a lifelong mystic to sense the truth of these times. All these voices are beautiful, and all serve their audiences well, in the great awakening of your collective. We highlight these figures' voices, not to place them on pedestals, but to show how broad and collaborative the Great Awakening truly is. Each of these individuals, and indeed each of you reading these words, carries a piece of the puzzle. Each voice adds to the chorus calling for liberation. Their efforts, alongside your own, are lighting up the darkness and laying the groundwork for the new world that is being born. As we come to a close, we affirm that you stand on the precipice of a profound evolutionary leap. Yes, the old structures are breaking down, and this may bring temporary confusion or hardship. But remember, the destruction of the old is the birth pang of the new. Do not fall into fear when upheavals occur. You, the light bearers, have prepared for this time across many lifetimes. You are here to be the calm in the storm, the guiding light for those who will be disoriented as long-hidden truths come to light. Indeed, many startling revelations will emerge in rapid succession. Exposures of corruption, confirmations of extraterrestrial presence, the unveiling of suppressed technologies, and the acknowledgement of humanity's true galactic heritage. As these come forth, some around you may react with shock or anger. This is when your compassion and wisdom will be most needed. You will help others understand that the end of the old world is not the end of the world. It is the dawn of a new one. We and many benevolent allies are assisting you in ways both seen and unseen. Know that while we cannot do your work for you, for this is humanity's collective journey to fulfill, we are here to support, protect, and guide you as much as cosmic law permits. Many of us walk among you quietly, helping to nudge events in positive directions. Many more send energetic aid, softening certain blows, easing potential timelines, and neutralizing threats that you never even hear about. When you feel alone, tune in and sense our presence. We often speak to you through your intuition, the sudden insights, the synchronicities that place you at the right place at the right time. We are your family of light, ever present just beyond the veil, cheering you on. Great ones, the future you have long hoped for, a world of peace, unity, and upliftment, is not a vague dream. It is being born at this very moment. In higher realms, it is already a reality. Your role is to bring that reality forth into the material world through your steady love, focus, and determination. Do not be discouraged by temporary chaos. Sometimes a mess is a sign that a great cleansing is underway. Keep your focus on what you wish to create, not on what you fear. As one of our beloved messengers, the channel of this message, has relayed from us before, your thoughts create your world. Use that power consciously now. Envision the outcomes you desire for yourself and the planet. Joyous communities, healed ecosystems, technologies that serve humanity, open contact with benevolent star nations, and hold those visions in your heart. By doing so, you are literally blueprinting those realities into existence. You truly are the bringers of the dawn. Each act of kindness, each bold truth spoken, each moment you refuse to be pulled back into fear, brings the light of dawn closer on earth. We have absolute faith in you, because in a way we are you. Many among us have lived human lives, or are even future versions of humanity, who have come back to assist our own past. We know the glory that awaits on the other side of this challenging juncture. So step forward into this new era with confidence and compassion. Support one another through the final moments of the old paradigm. Celebrate the small victories and the large. The light has already won, dear ones. Now it's about each of you embodying that victory day by day. We wrap you in our love and leave you with our blessings. Step into your sovereignty and claim the beautiful future that is your birthright. We walk beside you on this journey of ascension, now and always. in unity and in service to the one Creator, and with all my love, I am Valir, and we of the Pleiadian collective of emissaries bless you and guide you always.